Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel DePompa with NBC12 in Richmond, Virginia. I'm an investigative reporter here, and I also work for Investigate TV for our parent company, Gray Television, and we air investigative and consumer content across the country to our 92 TV stations, soon to be more TV stations. So I work here in Richmond. I've been here for about 13 years, and I've been a journalist for more than 20 years. Dating myself here, but the big thing I want to talk about today is to give us all a little refresher, a little pep up, a little reminder to get those FOIAs out first and foremost, but also to fight back if you do get denied. So I'm going to share my screen right now. You've been denied. Now what? I'm going to move this up just a little bit. Well, the first thing I would say is cry. No, really. Don't cry. It'll be good. We will be able to get through this. We will get you the information you are seeking. So number one, if you get denied, someone else might have the data you want. So before you lose your head, think about where someone else might have to file that claim, whether it's a state agency and they also have to file, that information with the feds as well, and you can request it there, though that may take longer because the federal government takes so much longer. But is there another state agency that might have the same information? So think it through. And then if they don't, here's a quick example. Petersburg police told me no. I'd been hearing for months that there was money missing from their evidence room. So I asked them over and over, and they denied this over and over. Then one day, as you can see on this email, on November 12th, 2015, I opened my inbox to a surprise. Yes, we do have money missing from the evidence room, $13,356 to be exact. And it's a discrepancy. It's a clerical error. That is all. Nothing to see here. Move on. But that is not what I was hearing. So what do? Well, I FOIA'd all the insurance claims filed by the city. Every insurance claim. This was through a different department, had nothing to do with police. Police would not even know that I had filed this request. Nobody knew what I was looking for. I just was looking for what insurance claims were filed, and there was my answer. Petersburg police filed, and this is the kicker, guys, 21 days after I got that statement in my inbox is when they filed a claim with their insurance company for the missing money in the evidence room. 21 days after they told me this was a clerical error. And why that is so interesting is because in the form submitted to insurance, it says the money was stolen. There's your answer. Makes for a good story. I'm not going to share it with you today. You can go back and watch it anytime, but a really good tip there also is to FOIA the insurance claims by any city or county. Some really good stuff there. You get denied, now what? Appeal, 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 appeal. I cannot say this anymore. Always ask again. It doesn't hurt. You never know. Somebody might have a change of heart, but also always make them provide you with the exact statute that they are citing for that denial, down to the subsection. You want to know what the basis is for that denial because you need to go and read it. And here's a really good example of why. My dear friend, AJ Legault, works at CARE, a TV station in Minnesota, and he used to work here in Richmond at WRIC. Well, he sent me this example. There was a mass shooting in Minnesota, and they had heard that the person got on a transit bus right before the shooting. So they wanted to get the video of that person on the bus. And police obviously, no, you can't have our video. We're in an active investigation. You can't have it. So AJ thought outside the box. He said, you know what? I'm going to FOIA the travel company, the public company that gets public dollars, and I'm going to ask them for the video. So he sends it to them. Well, as you can guess, they said no. And you can look at their request. They said any bus camera video would be unavailable to the public at this time because it's an active criminal investigative data, part of the overall law enforcement investigation of this incident. And they actually cite a statutory code in Minnesota. So what did AJ do? He went and he read the code section. And here's the email he sent back, which is fabulous. We're appealing the denial. We asked for the data requested be provided. We did not request data from a law enforcement agency. We requested it from a public transportation company. So when AJ read the subsection, he saw that the entire section applies to agencies which carry on law enforcement function. Trailblazer Transit does not carry on law enforcement function, so we respectfully request the video to be provided. Well, the company said, you're right. And actually their county attorney and the attorneys that for his company that he works for, his company thought it was hilarious that they had misread this section, and all he did was point that out. And here you go. He got the video. They were the only TV station and news outlet to get it. And they were the only ones to think outside the box and challenge the denial. So it is so important to go back in and say, why are you denying me again? What is happening here? What's the section you're citing? Because a lot of times it's not a correct section or it doesn't apply to something. So you got to make sure. And the last thing I would say is call them up if they say no, because what does it hurt you? And kill them with kindness and find out what exactly is going on. And maybe it's a misunderstanding. We were seeking data on bridges in the Commonwealth, and the governor of Virginia, soon after 9/11, exempted all of that information. They said, you know what? A terrorist may try to get the design or the plans for a bridge and then try to do something. So we are not making that information public anymore. It was buried and hidden. And it allowed the agency to deny a request like mine, who wanted to see something as part of the bridge data. So I picked up the phone. And, at first they cited that exemption and said no. But on the phone, I calmly explained, I'm not a terrorist. I'm a news organization, and with a news organization, I have no plans to publish all this data. I have no plans to put bridge schematics out into the public. I am looking for a very specific piece of information. And they eventually, after calmly talking on the phone, allowed me to come to the office with a portable scanner, which if you can see right there, you can get them on Amazon, $30, $40, $50. You can make your phone into a portable scanner, do it. But I went into the office of VDOT and I was able to scan the documents. They didn't even watch me scan the documents, but we had an understanding. They knew that I wasn't going to just take everything and make it public. I was looking for specific bits of information for a story I was working on. And to me, it didn't compromise anything of the investigation or what I was doing, but I really needed access to the data. And so just telling them I'm looking for this helped greatly in that situation. And I was able to get around it. So to recap, get familiar with the FOIA law. Know it. 2.2-3700. Read it, know it, read it again. Anytime you send a request, read it when you get a denial. Make sure you know what you're being denied for. Assume everything is public and free. Don't take anyone's interpretation as fact. Bureaucrats like to confuse us reporters. They like to just say, oh, personnel exemption, you can't have it. They say HIPAA all the time when HIPAA doesn't always apply, when they just throw that word out and it scares people. If relevant, call them out. If you do find an issue with the code section that they cited, call them out in the story, on TV, online, on newspaper. It's okay at that point, I think, if you've given them ample opportunity to respond and they haven't, and they're wrong, let people know. You never know, that could change the story. It could put pressure on a governor to release something. You don't know. So you got to try. And what do your agencies keep? Ask for that file layout and that record retention schedule so you know what kinds of data that you have access to or what kinds of information you can request. And my last bit here to send you off on a good note is FOIA FRIYAY, okay? Everyone needs to send requests every Friday. Agencies hate when we tell each other this because they get bombarded, but it doesn't matter because they have their set amount of time to fill it, or they can ask for an extension. But make it a habit to go asking for data from your city and county. Just pick something. You never know where you'll find a story. Ask for everyone's contract. Any big person in your beat, you want their contract. Ask for a salary database. Ask for the pet registries. It's a great place to get information for citizens for a future story. You think, oh, why do I have this pet database? But a lot of times they give you the names, the address, the phone number of people that are registered on the pet database. And you never know when a story happens in a neighborhood and you can look through your database and go, wait, there's 3 people, 3 phone numbers in that neighborhood that we can reach out and call. So it's just a good little side tip to keep in your files in case you ever need it. Also, if you don't have a specific request that you want to file, pick an agency, a federal agency or a state agency, and look at what data is publicly available. Go to the FOIA reading rooms and just look around, see what other people have requested, and request it yourself. And if you ever get your butt kicked on a big story and you're not going to do the story yourself, there's no reason to. It's very intricate or to one side. My advice as a reporter is to go to all the sources and request all the information that they requested for that story. One, so you can see what they got, but two, so you know what to ask for in the future. So you can learn from somebody else's big investigation. For you never know when something that you learned how to request later on will come up and pop in your head and go, you know what, I can just ask for this. So I hope that this was just a little pick me up during the day to get you going so that we all say, you know what, you've been denied, now what? Well, you know what, I'm going to check, I'm going to ask, I'm going to call, and I'm going to make sure that I get data that I think I have access to. Don't give up. It's a good fight. If you need to reach me, I'm at Twitter at Rachel DePompa, and it was a pleasure being with you guys today. Bye, everyone.